I wanted to tell you this now because I didn't want to forget, but the first song that started out was Squirrel Nut Zippers, and that talks about, it was a song called Hell, and so look that up, Squirrel Nut Zippers, Hell, and that song talks about moving on from, like, it's basically when I was messaging you, I saw him, like, driving away, like, from something in a car, and Squirrel Nut Zippers, that song's about basically looking at two paths and seeing which, where they go. Like, one goes to hell and the other one, so don't go down that one. And then I thought, like, the messages were over, but no. All About That Bass came on, and he knows that, like, you're of high quality. You know what I'm saying? And he's like, well, he knows he's not, like, he knows he's going to have to work to keep you. You know what I'm saying? And he knows that it'll be worth it because he's like I see him like driving fast in a car. Like I saw him like in the driver's seat, like looking back, trying to get away from something, because knowing that if you go down that road, what the outcome's going to be. Okay, I don't know what he does for a living, but I'm just going to tell you the story of what I'm seeing of Las Vegas here, of his story. But, like, this person's worth was put to their singing. You know what I mean? It's like, everything they were is their, like Elvis. Like, it's almost like they weren't allowed to be anything else. And this person's like, well, I kind of want a family. You know what I'm saying? I kind of want to do other things besides, be known as this. But it's like it's too late. They missed the party. Let's get another. And somebody could even, think like, they might not. Somebody might not take them seriously or might not want them, for themselves. They might want them just because they are, this singer or they can do something really well. And they went in isolation. I don't know if I say that part yet because you're trying to tell me the story as I'm telling it to you. So this person went in isolation, and you see how, like, they're by themselves. And I don't think they're used to being by themselves or enjoyed being by themselves, but they needed to be by themselves. And while they were by themselves, though, they realized or started to realize what they wanted. And also, there's a little touch of freedom in there. Can you smell that? Can you smell that? Another thing they're bringing to my mind is also, like, I see the cat and the crab there, playing. When you bring people into your life, you have a certain freedom before you do that. And when you bring someone into your life, you have to weigh out, if they're worth making certain adjustments for. Do you know what I mean? But also what I'm seeing in this case is this person had to make kind of certain adjustments to be healthy. They had to learn how to make, like, healthier choices, not just about, like, life, but about themselves. And it's like, you see how there's three people here? This is the Six of Swords, by the way. See how there's three people here, and you see the moon here and the moon there? Their intuition is pulling them away from, like, a certain lifestyle that they're really having a hard time getting away from. I don't know if they're voicing it or not, and I could be wrong. I'm just some lady on the internet. But it's like, and then you notice how they're keeping, like, this is the dark, how they're keeping it kind of in the dark. And also, this might be something that they don't want you worrying about, but they are really trying to get away from something and start something else. And it's almost like, they're coming together, with another group, like, in secret or in the dark. So, like, they're not found, they're not harassed, like that. That's like the feeling I'm getting. Pressured. And also what I'm getting is they want to be careful with who they share their resources with because they've been hurt in the past. And they also don't want to make it known or, in the light who they share resources with or who they're coming together with. And this is a High Priestess card, but I'm not actually seeing her as a High Priestess today. It's almost like I'm actually seeing this as you. So this is not like, it's more like a teller. You know what I'm saying? It's like this girl's looking at this box saying, they're kind of like, that looks uncomfortable. that's not normal. It's almost like this person's like pointing out how being forced to get in that box is kind of, maybe not right. You know what I'm saying? And it's almost like for a minute somebody fought and like protected the, almost like fought to get in the box. You know what I'm saying? Like, no, 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 this is my box. Like this person's like trying to help this person get them more comfortable, make them realize, hey, look, you don't have to fit in that tiny thing. And they're like, no, 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 this is my box. You know what I'm saying? They got kind of defensive, and that hurt them. And I think they're realizing that because, like, somebody's just trying. This is like, when you're good at something and this person's only been singing, and they want to step into another box, or they only been doing, a certain thing their whole life, and they're trying to step into another box. Somebody's trying to help them. You know what I'm saying? Somebody's like, hey, this isn't the only box. You've got other boxes you can get into if you want to get in a box at all. Oh, shit. And here, what it's telling me, it's like, you see how she's at the store and she's, doesn't know what she wants. When you go into a store, you want to make sure, like I say, when I go into the store, I want to make sure, I look at everything to make sure I know what I want. And that's what this person's realizing. This person's like looking at what they want, what's real, but what they're noticing is like in your absence. Like they notice your absence, or they notice like, like you don't force them to be there. You are around people that want to be around you. And when your energy's not there, people notice. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, Eminem is a pain in the ass. He points out everything. He'll call you out, but people sure do want him around. You know what I'm saying? People sure do try to act right in front of him. You know what I'm saying? While I was getting this deck, I heard everybody's talking all this stuff about me. Why don't they just let me live? I don't need permission, make my own decisions. That's my prerogative. I'm telling you, I don't know if you know, but he is breaking away from a group. He's getting out of a situation. He's tearing off the Band-Aid. He's making a clean break. Last day in the light, unexpected ending, surprise changes, sudden shifts. And I'm telling you, he looked at these two paths. He knows what one way leads. Okay? And he don't have like absolute solid proof on where the other one goes, but he knows where the other one leads. And so he had his last day in the light. He is like on his way out of there into becoming the outsider. You know what I'm saying? Like he is like planning on, he knows like when he makes a certain decision, he's going to be an outsider on a certain group or somewhere. It's like somebody said, choose a side, pick a way, and he did. Okay? See, again, this person, and this is Reagan, this is old, you know what I'm saying? But this person has been dimed to something they don't want to be. That person has been, coined a certain, something or in a certain group. See, tinged with nostalgia, fourth. This is roots, ancestry, inner emotional foundation, private life. And what's interesting is Killian in Once Upon a Time, this person's, what this is saying is revenge made this person's mind expand. Killian fell in love with, or Captain Hook fell in love with the daughter of the person he wanted to unalive, or like the granddaughter of the person he wanted to unalive, something like that. And that journey like expanded his mind and made them a better person. Resurrection. guys.